Limits on this educational marketplace of ideas are not confined to primary schools and high schools. Colleges and universities have been restricting free expression and exposure to opposing perspectives, even in the art department.
If you're an artist exhibited in a big museum, you're going to be fine. You can show whatever you wish. But if you're kind of on the margins, that creates a problem.
I think being an artist is a big, big, big responsibility itself. We can be a part of a social change.
Multimedia artist Serhat Tanyolacar fled censorship in Turkey. He has taught at American colleges and universities since 2009.
In academia, your duty is mostly to teach beyond teaching, mentorship. One of my classes is art and politics. Specifically, I have a 1 month of censorship project.
One way or another, you will most likely offend someone else. If you believe in something and that something really reflects something good, then fight for it. So this was the piece which put me in trouble.
In 2018, while teaching at Polk State College in Florida, Serhat created a work called Death of Innocence.
There's a dichotomy, the left is Trump and orgy scene, massive orgy scene, and the right is people who wrote or who used to sing or who used to make art about individual rights, freedom of speech, liberty, love.
That work was removed from a faculty show at Polk State because it was found to be offensive.
It was only my artwork which was censored, the Trump work. The work was censored based on morality. But whose morality?
4 years earlier, another of Serhat's artworks had caused controversy at the University of Iowa.
I made this KKK robe, printed newspaper articles all about past and the current racist events.
It starts with the Tulsa race riot, and the last incident was the Holocaust Museum shooting.
Because it was misunderstood by students, they shut down the display.
To do anything on campus, you have to go to the dean's office, you have to get approval from them first. You want a reaction, it got a reaction.
You have to get permission in order to have an art display. You have to get permission to have a protest, which just doesn't sound right to people. You can fight the machine, but you have to get the machine's agreement first before you can rage against it.
You can discuss something nicely in the classroom, but when you have a work like Serhat's that brings the KKK on your college campus to show the violence, or show the artist's vision of the moral corruption of the Trump administration, then they don't know how to deal with it.
Before focusing on the final product, make mistakes and figure out, experiment.
Serhat's disappointment with the commitment of freedom of speech in the U.S. and on campus is something that I very much share. I think it could be better. I think it should be better. I think it would be better in a lot of ways if campuses were less bureaucratized.
Universities are turning into brands. If people are causing disruption and are making people angry, that's not good for the brand.
Senior administrators, deans and presidents and provosts' main job these days, unfortunately, is to raise money and ward off negative publicity.
Everything does depend on brand. Which students decide to go to which school, which donors give to which university. There's all these pressures on university administrators to think in that way, and very little incentive to think in a different way, which is, we're not about one thing. We're about lots of different things, and some of those things are going to be stuff that many of us feel very uncomfortable about. We certainly can have a concept of decorum and a concept of norms, but I think it's really important to recognize that those sorts of concepts of decorum and norms have historically been used to shut up people who are rebellious.